Hello everybody. As per the demand, we are now launching the medical series, which is very crucial for your entrance exams. So today I'll be covering the topic that is the kidney, only the basic levels. And if you have any doubt, if you have any questions, if you want some other lecture to be prepared, so do let me know in the comments. Okay. So first of all, what we are going to cover in this basic chapters is the anatomy and physiology of the kidney. In anatomy, we'll be covering about the sizes, the location, the measurements, and the components. So in physiology, we'll be covering the structure of the glomeruli, structure of the nephron, the various mechanisms, how the urine is prepared and it is secreted out of the body, which is the countercurrent mechanism, and the famous RAS system, which is renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. I Okay, thank you. What is the level of the kidney? The kidneys they both are at a level of T12 to L3 vertebra. As we all know, the right kidney it is at a lower level than the left kidney. Why? Because we have liver which is pressing on the right kidney. That is why the right kidney is at a lower level. And one question for you: the hilum of the kidney. Everybody must know that the kidney has a hilum. So the hilum is at a level of L1. Kidney is at a level of T12 to L3 vertebra and hilum is at the level of L1. So what is the weight of the kidney? The weight of the kidney is around 100 to 150 grams. Why is there a variation? Because obviously people have so many different sizes, so kidney will also have different sizes. But one thing which is common in all the individual is the number of the nephrons. The number of the nephrons in both the kidneys are fixed, that is 1 to 1.2 million in each kidney. And nephrons are the functional unit of the kidney. What is the length of both the kidneys? It is approximately 10 to 13 centimeter. So we have covered about the level, the weight, the length, basics of the kidney. So now we are covering the urogenital system. So what is urogenital system? In urogenital system, we have two kidneys, correct? We have two ureters, correct? We have one urinary bladder and we have one urethra. As everybody knows, the urethra in males is longer than females, correct? So females are more prone to UTIs, urinary tract infection, because all the infection it starts from the urethra and goes up to the kidney system. So the urethra infection is going to the urinary bladder and through there it goes to the ureters and then to the kidneys. So what do we call it? Pyelonephritis, correct? So now we are talking about the vascular supply of the kidney. The every organ of the body has a vascular supply. It has a artery, a vein, and lymphatics. So the arteries of the kidneys are renal artery. The vein is called the renal vein and lymphatics. So now everybody knows that the left renal vein and the right renal vein they both drain into the respective big veins. So commonly it is the IVC. And just look at the figure. We can see the left vein. This is the right kidney. This is the left kidney. Everybody knows. So the left renal vein is longer and it has to cross the midline. And the right renal artery is longer. Correct? Left vein and right artery. They are longer as their counterparts. Then we talk about various components of the kidney. So we have talked about the urogenital system in which there is kidney, ureter, two kidneys, two ureter, one urinary bladder and one urethra. Correct? In the kidney, what do we have? We have the cortex, we have the medulla, then we have the renal pelvis, then the pelvis drain into the ureters, and ureter drain into the urinary bladder. So these are called as the renal pyramids. We have many pyramids in different lobes. So we are not going to cover this in this short lecture. So basic is we have cortex, the medulla, then the pelvis which drains into the ureter. Okay. Now a very important and very easy topic is the anatomy and physiology of the glomeruli and the nephron. So we have 1 to 1.2 million nephrons in each kidney, and each nephron consists of one glomeruli, then PCT, that is proximal convoluted tubule, then loop of Henle, then DCT, that is distal convoluted tubule, then the collecting duct. Correct? So we are going to study this in detail. So let me tell you first about the types of nephron. So if we are talking about the types of nephron, so we have cortical nephron and we have medullary nephron. Difference between the two is the loop of Henle. Correct? The loop of Henle of cortical nephron is short and loop of Henle of medullary nephron is long. So again, the cortex of the kidney is at this level, medulla is at this level. I'll draw it in different ink so you all can understand better. This is the medulla. So this is the glomeruli, this is the PCT, this is the loop of Henle, this is the DCT and collecting duct. Correct? And in the cortical nephrons, this is the glomeruli, PCT and collecting duct which is coming down into the pelvis. So the loop of Henle of cortical nephrons are short and of the medullary nephrons they are very long. That is why the main secretory function of kidney is done by the medullary nephrons, not by the cortical nephron. Cortical nephron only and only help in water removal. Everything which is related to the salt metabolism of the kidney is done by the medullary nephrons because of the long loop of Henle. Correct? So the glomeruli, PCT, loop of Henle, DCT and collecting duct. Correct? Now the glomeruli, it is composed of, firstly it has afferent arteriole, afferent arteriole, then efferent arteriole. This is the efferent arteriole. So afferent arteriole has blood which is ultra filtered into the glomeruli, and with whatever is remaining can go through the efferent arteriole. So the ultrafiltrate, we are calling it ultrafiltrate. We'll be talking about the filtration later on. So just remember it is ultrafiltrate. Afferent arteriole is getting the blood and the filtrate is coming into the glomerulus, and rest is going into the efferent arteriole. Correct? So this is the Bowman's capsule which has the glomerulus. Then the PCT, that is the proximal convoluted tubule. Then comes the loop of Henle. Loop of Henle has also parts. This is the thin descending limb of loop of Henle. What is it? Thin descending limb of loop of Henle. This is the thick ascending limb. It is going up, so it is thick ascending limb of loop of Henle. Correct? Then comes the, sorry, it is thin. Then this is the thick ascending limb of loop of Henle. Correct? Then comes the DCT, that is the distal convoluted tubule. Then the collecting duct. So, when do we call urine as urine? And when do we call it as a filtrate? So the ultrafiltrate comes into the capsule, then the PCT, it is filtrate, then loop of Henle still filtrate, DCT still filtrate, collecting duct now it is called as urine. When the filtrate comes into the collecting duct, it is called as urine. Only and only in the collecting duct we can call the filtrate as urine. Now a very important topic, that is the JG apparatus. It is called as JG apparatus. And what is that? JG is juxtaglomerular. Juxta means it is close to. Glomerulus is glomerulus. Apparatus which is nearby the glomerulus is known as the juxtaglomerular apparatus. Why do we need it? Why do we need to understand it? So, the distal tubule, it is near the glomerulus. Here is the afferent arteriole. Here is the efferent arteriole, and here is the distal tubule. There is the glomerulus. So we understand this much, correct? Now, the distal tubule has some kind of cells. These cells are called as the macula densa. They are bright, dark, some dark cells known as the macula densa, very dense. What do they do? Suppose you are eating mangoes, correct? So the mango for the kidney is sodium. You like mangoes a lot. Kidney likes sodium a lot. So the DCT, it is like a counter for the mangoes or the sodium. If more mangoes are coming, you will say that I don't want more mangoes. If less mangoes are coming, you'll say I want more mangoes because you want a balance. You want one per day or two per day. Correct? So similar is the DCT. It is in love with the sodium. Correct? So if the sodium level is low, it wants more sodium, and when the sodium level is is high, it wants less sodium. So what it does is it detects the sodium level in the filtrate and do some changes. I'm not going to talk about it. Do some changes so that the balance is there. Thus, sodium chloride balance, the salt balance of the body, of the kidney, electrolyte balance is maintained. That is the job of macula densa. Not going into the detail, but electrolyte balance is also a job of macula densa, that is the JG apparatus. Correct? This much I think you must have understood. Now, very important topic, That is the counter current multiplier and exchanger. So we have talked about that from efferent arteriole, the filtrate is coming, getting ultra filtered and coming out of the efferent arteriole. Correct? So the filtrate comes into the PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. Here, um, the osmolality. Now we are talking about osmolality. There is something which is also known as osmolarity. This is of solute. Correct? Here we are talking about osmolality. The osmolality of the filtrate at the PCT is approximately 300 milliosmomole per liter, and at the tip of the loop of Henle it is approximately 1200 milliosmomole per liter. Correct? Here it is 300, here it is 1200. So this is the job of counter current multiplier and exchanger to increase the osmolality of the glomerular fluid till the maximum, which is 1200, and then it will go again up and becomes 300 at the DCT. Then the urine comes into the collecting duct and out. So this is the basic counter current multiplier and exchanger. Exchanger is by the vasa recta, which is a part of the efferent arteriole. Correct? So we'll talk about it in detail at a later stage. Now we have to talk about RAS. What is RAS? It is renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. What does it do? The job of renin is to activate angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. Okay, so renin, what does it do? It converts angiotensinogen from lungs to angiotensin 1, which gets converted to angiotensin 2 by ACE, angiotensin converting enzyme. So angiotensin 1 gets converted to angiotensin 2 through ACE. So angiotensin 2 activates aldosterone and it will act on the kidneys. Correct? So renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. Renin converts angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. Angiotensin 1 gets converted to angiotensin 2 by ACE, and angiotensin 2 activates aldosterone, which acts on the kidneys and do something. Now we'll talk about what does it do. Angiotensinogen, sorry, aldosterone. So aldosterone firstly increase absorption of sodium. You getting it? So renin is secreted by which cells? Question for you. The renin is secreted by which cells? We have talked about it. We have talked about the cells. So you are going to tell me renin is secreted by the JG apparatus. Correct. So JG apparatus secretes renin. Ultimately, aldosterone is activated, which increases absorption of sodium, and it also vasoconstrict the afferent arteriole. We have talked about afferent arteriole, correct? Now, what is vasoconstriction? Suppose this is a blood vessel. Okay, so constriction is becoming small, dilation is it is becoming large. So this is the normal, this is the constricted, and this is large. So this is dilated. Getting it? So vasoconstriction. What is vasoconstriction? Constriction of a blood vessel. It can be artery, it can be vein, it can be anything. So what does aldosterone do? It causes increased absorption of sodium from the kidneys. Where is the sodium absorbed maximum? In the PCT. And what else is absorbed in the PCT is water. So maximum absorption of sodium and water is in the PCT. And okay, another question. What is okay? What does collecting duct absorb? Water. So if a question comes, where is the maximum absorption of water? In the PCT or collecting duct? Answer is PCT. Another question. Collecting duct absorb maximum of what? That is water. The main function of collecting duct is to absorb water, but maximum water absorbs in the PCT. So I hope you understood this small lecture. I hope you are understanding it. So it is very useful for you because there are many questions which are coming from the medical series. So I'll be covering a lot of other lectures. So I want you to tell me any topic which you like to be covered first, and please drop a comment, and we'll be definitely recording a video for you. And if you like it, then please subscribe it so that you can get a notification every time a new video comes. Okay, thank you and all the best for your NEET exams. Thank you.